Australians are here from all walks of life, and we're presenting a petition of more than 73,000 Australians who are calling for bold pollution reduction targets. We're all here today to protect all the things that make Australia a wonderful place to live.
My generation is going to be the first to be impacted by climate change, and I know that the most vulnerable in our community will be hit first and worst. And so that's Indigenous people from the Torres Strait seeing their islands go underwater, or Aboriginal groups in Queensland seeing their sacred country destroyed by droughts.
The rate that heat is increasing is going to mean that by 2040, which isn't really long away, that 20% of the world is going to be experiencing 1 in 100 heat event. And of course this means that thousands and indeed millions will die.
For firefighters, this is a question about our safety at work. As the climate changes, we're seeing more and more extreme weather behaviour. That extreme weather behaviour leads to catastrophic bushfires, it leads to flooding where we haven't seen it before, or extreme flooding where we have, and storm and tempest activity. We are the people who respond to those incidents. We are the people who actually have to deal with the physical manifestation of extreme weather behaviour.
I'm 70 now, and I'd like to leave this earth knowing that there are people here in Australia who are caring for it. And I'd like to call on the government to act with intelligence and integrity, to listen to the scientists, to look at the fact, for example, that by 2020 there will be 150 million climate refugees here. This is disastrous. We can't live in the past, we have to prepare for the future, and we have to look after our intergenerational responsibilities.
My generation needs to stand up, and we need to force a change with the government, because if they do not do anything, then we don't have a future to live in.
Into the future, we're going to see extreme cases of higher food prices, food shortages, quality of food go down. At the end of the day, you could look at it at a drastic point of view and say, we could all starve, but before that it's going to hit our hip pocket and we're going to be paying more for food in the supermarkets than to feed our family. I think essentially that is one of the most important issues why we need to attack climate change and the extreme weather events that we're facing today.
Many of the people we've put in Parliament aren't representing rural Australia, they're representing their own benefit. And they need to go back and find people in those electorates who will represent those communities and put them in Parliament and stop this sort of what I call money politics.
The government could legislate a lot of different policy where they can make the good effect, try to convince people to live a little bit different, to make sure that our sky, our air, our earth, our forests, rivers and ourselves a bit more safer and more healthier. By eating differently, producing and manufacturing differently, farming and mining differently.
The fact that we will have so many more refugees in the future as a result of wars, and those wars are in fact also are making a connection with the climate change and the disaster that's about to befall us. So today I'm here to make sure that these voices are heard.
It can be stopped. We don't need to do this. And so we really do need ambitious targets and really decarbonise Australia.
And we're here today to present this mega petition of more than 73,000 signers who are all calling for Australia to set bold targets for the Paris conference at the end of this year.